You're finally awake.
Okay, look, I'm gonna be brutally honest here. Everything about this was a terrible idea from the get-go. But who am I if not a mango who lives the consequences of his actions? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Daytona Tamworth in the absolutely abhorrent weather that was experienced during this here race. Being only the 5th time that I've raced at Daytona Tamworth and the first time ever racing outdoor in the wet and at night to boot, it was a treat from start to finish. As much as I did come off of both the qualifying and the race sessions absolutely drenched through head to toe, it was, like I say, an absolute treat and something that you can experience nowhere else. Racing in the wet is an entirely different discipline to that of racing in the dry, racing indoor, racing anything that isn't racing in the wet. It takes an entirely different skill set, and I found that out the hard way. Yeah, no, we don't need to... Yeah, we just won't talk about that bit, okay? What we will talk about, though, is the racing line. Typically in the dry at Tamworth, the racing line is quite simple, quite flowy. Just run out wide on the exit, tuck yourself back in neatly for the entry to the next corner, find the grip, keep it, and pin the throttle down once you've hit the apex. In the wet, however, just finding the racing line was a challenge in of itself, let alone keeping to it. As you can see here from the footage in the background, it's an absolute skating rink, sliding on entry, exit, and middle of every single corner. Grip is just absolutely nowhere. Everyone's struggling to even keep it on the track. But it could always be worse. No, I said we're not going to talk about it. Get out of here. No. Damn it, now I forgot what I was talking about. Where did we get to? Oh yeah, the race. So here we are on the grid then. 1 light, 2 light, 3 lights, 4 lights, and 5 red lights, and the lights go out, and let's go sailing, because it'd probably be quicker in this weather. Kart on the right there just cannot get it off of the grid, making a nice run up the inside of kart 27, but there's no traction, cannot get the power down, so kart 27 there just able to pull back in front, absolutely showering me in spray. You can see the rooster tails just about through all of the water covering the camera as we come down to turn 1 proper. An absolute tragedy for these 3 karts here. One of them spun round and the other 2 have gotten stuck in sympathy, making a brilliant run up towards James Gain in front of me here now. But I've gone a little bit deep. He's taken a slightly tighter line, managing to close that gap right up, and he's drowned me. Yeah, you might have seen that in the intro if you were paying attention, but that was the first of many, many times during this race that we got absolutely drenched. A second one there just for good measure, slowing me down, just throwing me off pace a little bit, not quite expecting it as we come up towards the second of the 2 elongated hairpins. Lost all traction and have had a little tap on the back from these 2 karts just getting past me now. Not entirely sure what these hand signals were for. I believe it was directed at the marshals, might have been showing a little warning board or unnecessary yellow flag in their opinion, but it's no bother. We just need to lock in and start to bring these times down now and just start chasing those karts in front. Kart number 1 in front there as well, just going a little bit wide, taking a little bit too much curve and getting a good helping of water being splashed up from the grass on the side of the track just to let them know that they might have gone a little bit too deep there. Just absolutely soaring at the steering wheel now as we come up towards the pit straight, and we've got the first proper yellow flags of the race. And here's the reason. James Gain has bottled it on the pit bend. Managed to get himself going again though, just a little 180 spin. I've managed to get around the outside as he's getting going again, going very, very deep into the final proper corner again there, just fighting for the traction. That was very much the theme of this race, splashing through all of the puddles down the Notts Straight, just desperately trying to keep it on the black stuff. Not that you can even see it in this weather. I'm getting very conscious of where Gain is at this point though, as I know that he did get going very quickly just as I went past. So keeping slightly further to the outside, just trying to find that grip. Noticing fairly early on that the wider you were, the better the grip was. Just trying to avoid all of these puddles here, keep that traction as best as I can. But still, again, getting drowned. There's a little shake there to try and flick some of that rain off of the visor. and coming down towards the elongated hairpin number 2. Again, there's a little bit of a squabble going on with those karts in front. Not entirely sure what's happened there, but someone is not in the right direction. I've had to lift off a little bit there just to make sure that I didn't plough into the side of them. Coming down towards the third of the elongated hairpins now. This one arguably the grippiest of the lot. Not entirely sure how, considering it's where a lot of the water was pooling up, running out wide again as we come down towards the S-bend here. Just trying to keep it straight and just not spin out. It would be absolutely devastating to spin out here with so many cars close behind. Coming through the second part of the S-bend now then, just again trying to keep it straight, and we failed. Yeah, I know I said we wouldn't talk about the first time that this happened, but I think it's worth it this time. As you've seen, just absolutely dropped it. I've run out of talent, lost 2 places in doing so. So once again, just trying to get back into the swing of things and just get the car to the end of the race. So jumping on a couple of laps here now, coming up onto the back of one of the back markers, just thinking I've got a pretty good pace now, starting to find that rhythm like I was just talking about. Having a little look to the outside, knowing that they're going to go a little bit deeper into the corner, so just chuck it to the inside, find the grip a bit later into the corner and just try and find it on the exit, and we've managed to make it stick. Weren't any blue flags in this race just because of how chaotic it was and it being an open race. So cheeky little move and then a good little drowning just to be on the safe side. Just jumping on towards the end of the lap now then, after we've made that move on the back marker. Thinking we found the rhythm, but unfortunately it's all gotten away from us. So I had a little 180 spin going into the pit bend corner. Managed to get going again though, just a little bit of water on those tyres, losing that grip, but nothing too major. We're in nice clean air. The next position on track is a good way ahead of us, and the next position actually for a race position is a good way behind us as well, so we've got a little bit of room to play with here. And speaking of that room, we've managed to hold the gap on that back marker we've recently overtaken. Just fast forwarding a couple of laps on now, going through the soaking wet hairpin. Just every time we come through here, that puddle's replenishing itself from how heavy the rain is. Coming on to the next hairpin though, we've just snatched at the brakes a little bit too much, full opposite lock, but we just can't quite keep the car in the right direction. As one of the race leaders just behind me, that was going to be lapping me eventually anyway, manages to get through. I've just held my position in the middle of the track. Admittedly not the best place to have stopped, but better for me to just stay there and let them know where I am, rather than just trying to fling myself back into the line of where they're going to be headed. Jumping on another few laps now then, as we get a little bit closer towards the end of the race. Yellow flags ahead, the concertina up to the car in front. This move about to be 4 positions, so we could have a little bit of a scrap on our hands now. Back into the green flag area, just trying to keep it on the grippy bits of the track, sliding out towards the barriers a little bit there. Again, seeing those rooster tails as we go back into another area of yellow flags. Not entirely sure why, as you can see the marshals are actually well behind the barrier, but the car in front's gone a little bit deep through that corner, so I've managed to close the gap a fair amount now, tucking all the way over to the outside of the track there, right up against the barrier. He's managed to find a bit more grip than I have on the exit though, and found a little bit of time back, but being behind, I know where the grip is. I can see where he's losing time on the straight, and he's clearing out all of the water, so I've got as dry a line as possible. Taking a little bit too much curb for me there though, splashing myself well and truly soaked through as we close up to him once again, but he's taken a little bit of time out of me again, really giving me a hard time just to even close the gap all the way up as I go skating off towards the exit curb there. Just giving my visor a little bit of a wipe, trying to keep him clear in my view as desperately as I can to get this move done. But as we come down to one of the hairpins again, feeling confident here, the gap's nice and low down now, just taking a little look to the inside, being really brave on the brakes in these questionable conditions, running that a little bit wider as the guy behind now tucks in to try and take the inside line in the exit. But we've managed to make the move stick as we then go skating off towards the grass, really worrying that that could have been a move lost as quickly as it was gained there as we go soaring at the steering wheel. Nearly going for a little slide out to that puddle of death on the exit curve there as we come back into another yellow flag zone, just another lap on. But as you can just see the marshal down towards the pit bend there, just evidently pushing someone back onto the track, a little bit of a slide for them as we go back into the green flag area now. just trying to keep it straight and neat for about the millionth time. It was just that treacherous. We could not keep it together at any given opportunity. Jumping ahead exactly a lap now pretty much, and we've got another back marker in our sights. I'm worrying that this could have been a hard pass, but luckily for me, he's took a little bit too much brake just as I did a few laps prior, and just spun out and let me get clean past as the timer continues to tick down. Only a couple of laps left now, so it's just a case of locking in and bringing the kart home now that it's mostly clean air ahead. No one in front apart from the race leaders, and they're well off into the distance, nearly a full lap up on me now. But luckily for me, nothing's happened between then and now as we come down the not a straight as we enter the final lap. You see the marshal there getting ready with the checkered flag, waiting for the leaders to come through and take the checkered flag. And I'm thinking at this point, right, let's try and put in a good lap, try and go for a little PB, maybe even the fastest lap of the race if I've got it in me. We go soaring at the wheel and skating straight onto the concrete curb, nearly making friends with Barrier there. Just absolutely sliding through the puddle of death for one more time. Not as much of a splash this time though. Again, just soaring away at the wheel as we come down to the big elongated hairpin. And just once more for good measure, soaring away. Not quite going around, but then a little bit further through the corner, we'll finish the race as we started, and we've spun it straight out on the exit. Luckily, it's only a back marker going past me there, so nothing too bad before the end of the race. Yellow's just because I've obviously looped it there. A little bit of a skate out to the exit of the corner, just trying to keep it clean. Yellow's ahead again there, but not for me this time. Someone's had a little bit of a slide going through those final corners of the lap. Into the double hairpin we go, just trying our damnedest to keep it straight and neat this time. We've already learned from our mistakes, still on the yellows, but we don't want to spin off because someone would then be still within their right to just go past me while I'm in the wall. Just soaring away at the wheel again. Honestly, just call me a lumberjack, the amount of soaring I'm doing in this race. But we can see why we're yellow there. Someone's looped it on the pit entry. Pit entry would be closed if this was in a normal race or something like that. But we're into the green, so we've got one more proper corner to go. Tight as we can, still drifting out into the nowheres. Through the puddle-soaked not a straight one more time. Just taking all of that water, filling my boots one last time as we take the checkered flag. And now we head back into the nice warm and dry bar area. Time to just peel off the absolutely sodden suit and boots. But what a race it has been. For my first wet outdoor race and at night as well, I've got to say I'm really happy with the result. Coming in with P5 in a grid that was filled with many drivers that were more experienced than I was. Like I say, very proud of the result. But still, very soggy is an understatement. But we'll head inside properly and we'll have a quick look at the podium. Just looking around Gain's very soggy helmet there. Gain himself coming in P3. We had Oliver Child in kart number 29 in P2, and our race winner today was Hayden Harris in kart number 1. All absolutely drenched, but all very deserving to be up on that podium there. So that's it for today then, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed a little bit of a janky video. I just wanted to bash this one out because it's been sat in the drafts for a while, but there's more to come. There's plenty of videos in that backlog that need to be edited. So when those finally drop and I can motivate myself to edit, hopefully I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.
I've now pulled into my boots. Yeah, the my ones.